put me in a position where there's absolutely nothing to grab.
Mr. President,
So I'm looking for something to grab, and it's not going to be Caroline.
have any oil companies made commitments to you, sir? Have any oil companies made commitments to the United States after your meeting on Friday, sir? Which have Exxon,
Well, I don't want to say. No, I didn't like Exxon's response. We have so many that want it. I'd probably be inclined to keep Exxon out. I didn't like their response. They're playing too cute.
What backstops or guarantees have you told the oil companies that you're willing to provide?
Guarantees that they're going to be safe, that there's going to be no problem, and there won't be. There's not going to be a problem. They had problems in the past because they didn't have Trump as a president. They had stupid people.
News. Citigroup downgrades Chord Energy to neutral, lowers price target to $97 overall sentiment, negative, score -4 out of 10. Short-term impact. Short-term market impact, potential negative reaction by investors. Long-term impact. Long-term market impact, unclear, but may lead to reevaluation of CHRD growth prospects. Ticker-specific analysis. CHRD. Negative trade recommendation. Sell CHRD, score -2 symbols. CHRD.
Take care, most importantly, right now, we're going to take care of the people that came from Cuba that are American citizens or in our country.
Do you plan to seize any oil tankers that are headed to Cuba?
Well, we have a lot of oil people really interested. You saw that the other day. That was just a small group because the room in the White House, we need the ballroom, actually. We could have filled up the ballroom practically. We have so many people that want to go in for oil. So you saw some great companies.
Are you going to send Starlink to Iran, sir, to help the people in the ground with the internet blackout for more than 72 hours?
We're going to be talking about that. We may get the internet going, if that's possible.
Are you talking to Musk
We may
about it?
speak to Elon, because as you know, he's very good at that kind of thing. He's got a very good company. So we may speak to Elon Musk. And in fact, I'm going to call him as soon as I'm finished with you.
Just quickly, Iran said that they would consider military and commercial bases as legitimate targets if you struck. Are you concerned about?
If they do that, we'll consider things targets they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. And they won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force.
Do you think Iran takes your threats seriously?
I think so. Don't you think so, CNN? Don't you think so? Wouldn't you say that?
News. Bonk Executive Chairman John Goulias resigned from board, effective Jan. 12, 2026 overall sentiment, negative, score -6 out of 10. Short-term impact. Short-term decline in stock price possible due to uncertainty and potential leadership vacuum. Long-term impact. Long-term impact uncertain. May depend on how quickly the company addresses internal issues. Ticker-specific analysis. The NKK. Negative trade recommendation. Hold BNKK, score 0 symbols. The NKK.
I don't know. I hear Tuesday or Wednesday. I look forward to that.
Have you named your board of peace for Gaza yet? Where do those plans
We have
stand?
a board of peace that's being formed, but essentially it's the most important leaders of the most important nations. All nations, but the most important, you take the most important leaders and nations, that's who the board of peace is going to be. Everybody wants to be on it.
One group taking your threat seriously is one area taking your threat, the New York Post.
What a nice grouping this is. This is really nice. Look at this. It's going to be very rough in about 10 minutes. So aren't supposed to.
News. Citigroup maintains sell on Kimberly-Clark, lowers price target to $90 overall sentiment, negative, score -4 out of 10. Short-term impact. The stock may experience short-term selling pressure due to the sell rating. Long-term impact. Long-term investors should reassess their investment strategy in response to this negative news. Ticker-specific analysis. KMB. Negative trade recommendation. Hold KMB. Score -1 symbols. KMB. News. Citigroup maintains neutral on Estee Lauder costs, raises price target to $120 overall sentiment. Positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact, neutral, price target increase may drive minor short-term gains. Long-term impact, positive, potential for increased investor confidence and future growth. Ticker-specific analysis, L. Neutral trade recommendation. Hold L, score 0 symbols, L. News. Citigroup maintains buy on Monster Beverage, raises price target to $90 overall sentiment. Positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact, short-term market impact, moderate, potential stock price increase. Long-term impact, long-term market impact, positive, analysts' buy rating suggests sustained growth outlook. Ticker-specific analysis. MNST. Positive trade recommendation. Hold MNST, score 1 symbols. MNST. News. Verizon outage hits customers, phones showing SOS. VZ stock trades higher overall sentiment, negative, score -4 out of 10. Short-term impact. Unlikely to have significant short-term impact due to Verizon's large customer base and recent performance. Long-term impact could become a key topic for analysts during Verizon's earnings report, potentially affecting long-term stock performance. Ticker-specific analysis. T. Negative TMUS. Neutral VZ, negative trade recommendation. Hold VZ, score -1 symbols. T, TMOS and VZ. News, Citigroup maintains neutral on Bank of New York Mellon, raises price target to $136 overall sentiment, neutral, score 0 out of 10. Short-term impact, minimal short-term impact expected. Long-term impact, positive long-term implications due to raised price target. Ticker-specific analysis, BK. Positive symbols, BK. News, breaking down Coinbase Global. 24 analysts share their views overall sentiment, negative, score -3 out of 10. Short-term impact, potential short-term decline in stock value due to decreased analyst confidence. Long-term impact, long-term implications uncertain, but negative sentiment may impact investor perception and future growth prospects. Ticker-specific analysis, coin, negative trade recommendation. Hold coin, score -1 symbols. Coin. News, 11 analysts have this to say about PVH overall sentiment, negative, score -3 out of 10. Short-term impact, short-term decline in stock price due to lowered analyst expectations. Long-term impact uncertain, but may lead to a reevaluation of the company's financials and potential future growth. Ticker-specific analysis, PVH, negative trade recommendation. Hold PVH, score -1 symbols, PVH. News, price over earnings overview. Vail overall sentiment, neutral, score 0 out of 10. Short-term impact, neutral market impact due to no significant short-term catalysts mentioned. Long-term impact, potential long-term growth if investors expect future performance improvements. Ticker-specific analysis, Vail, neutral trade recommendation. Hold Vail, score 0 symbols, Vail. News, breaking down GFL Environmental. 4 analysts share their views overall sentiment. Neutral, score 1 out of 10. Short-term impact, minimal market impact expected as analysts maintain neutral or cautious views. Long-term impact, long-term prospects may be affected by GFL Environmental's ability to address operational challenges and achieve revenue growth targets. Ticker-specific analysis, GFL. Neutral trade recommendation. Hold GFL, score 0 symbols, GFL. News, what 4 analyst ratings have to say about ASML holding overall sentiment. Positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact, short-term market impact is likely to be positive due to analyst ratings and price target increases. Long-term impact, long-term market impact may be significant as ASML leading position in lithography systems drives growth. Ticker-specific analysis. ASML, positive trade recommendation. Hold ASML, score 1 symbols, ASML. News, trading halt. Halted at 4100 p.m. ET trading halt. Halt news pending overall sentiment. Neutral, score 0 out of 10. Short-term impact. Minimal impact expected due to lack of specific information about CVGW. Long-term impact. No indication of potential long-term market impact. Ticker-specific analysis. CVGW. Neutral trade recommendation. Hold CVGW, score 0 symbols. CVGW. News, 10 analysts assess Ecolab, what you need to know overall sentiment. Positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact, Short-term market impact is likely to be moderate, as analyst ratings and price targets influence investor decisions. Long-term impact. Long-term market impact may be significant as Ecolab's growth rate, profitability, and debt management suggest a strong company with potential for sustained performance. Ticker-specific analysis. Ecol. Positive trade recommendation. Buy Ecol, score 2 symbols, Ecol. News. Citigroup maintains buy on wire user, raises price target to $30 overall sentiment. Positive, score 5 out of 10. Short-term impact. Positive news may lead to short-term gains as investors react to the increased price target. Long-term impact. The long-term impact will depend on wire users' ability to meet or exceed expectations, potentially leading to sustained growth. Ticker-specific analysis. Y. Positive trade recommendation. Buy Y, score 2 symbols, Y. News. 12 consumer discretionary stocks moving in Wednesday's aftermarket session. Overall sentiment. Neutral. Score 0 out of 10. Short-term impact. Stocks may see minor price movements in the short term. Long-term impact. Long-term market impact is unclear, but positive trends persist. Ticker-specific analysis. CCHH. Negative ECTA. Negative HH. Negative trade recommendation. Sell SHCO. Score -2 symbols. CCHH. ECTA. Edge, FMFC, GDHG, GDZG, LRE. News. B. Riley Financial Q3 APS $2.91 up from $4.97 YoY. Sales $277.871 M up from $175.364 M YoY. Overall sentiment positive, score 9 out of 10. Short-term impact, potential short-term price increase. Long-term impact, positive long-term outlook for the company. Ticker-specific analysis, Riley. Positive trade recommendation. Buy Riley, score 3 symbols, Riley. News, HB. Fuller Q Forage. EPS $1.28 beats $1.23 estimate. Sales $894.788 M is $902.508 M estimate. Overall sentiment negative. Score -6 out of 10. Short-term impact. Potential short-term market impact. If UL stock price may decline due to missing sales estimate. Long-term impact. Long-term potential. The company's earnings growth and future outlook may offset concerns about missed sales estimates, potentially maintaining or increasing investor confidence. Ticker-specific analysis. Full. Negative trade recommendation. Sell FUL. Score -2 symbols. Fall. News. Paramount's guidance appoints Dennis K. Sinelli effective on January 15, 2026. Overall sentiment. Positive. Score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact. Positive short-term impact expected due to the appointment of an experienced CFO. Long-term impact. Long-term impact may be significant if Sinelli's growth strategies and financial expertise drive substantial revenue increases for Paramount's Guidance Corporation. Ticker-specific analysis. PSKY. Positive trade recommendation. By PSKY, score 2 symbols. PSKY. News. RF Industries shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results. Overall sentiment. Positive, score 5 out of 10. Short-term impact. Short-term, potential for continued growth. Long-term impact. Long-term, positive impact on stock price and investor confidence. News. Adonis appoints CEO Garo Arman as interim CFO. Effective Jan. 8. Overall sentiment. Neutral, score 0 out of 10. Short-term impact. Minimal impact expected on short-term market performance. Long-term impact. No discernible long-term implications from this announcement. Ticker-specific analysis. AGEN. Neutral trade recommendation. Hold AGEN, score 0 symbols. AGEN. News. Citigroup maintains neutral on Harley-Davidson. Lowers price target to $23. Overall sentiment. Neutral, score 0 out of 10. Short-term impact. Potential short-term decline in stock price due to lower price target. Long-term impact. Neutral long-term impact as analyst maintains neutral rating. Ticker-specific analysis. HOG. Negative trade recommendation. Hold HOG, score -1 symbols. HOG. News. Citigroup maintains buy on Norwegian Cruise Line. Raises price target to $29. Overall sentiment. Positive, score 5 out of 10. Short-term impact. Potential short-term boost in stock price. Long-term impact. May positively impact long-term investor confidence and sentiment. Ticker-specific analysis. NCLH. Positive trade recommendation. Buy NCLH. Score 2 symbols. NCLH. News. Inseego repurchases 100% of its outstanding preferred stock. Overall sentiment. Positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact. Expected to positively impact Inseego's financial health and reduce debt burden. Long-term impact. May have a limited long-term market impact as it depends on future earnings and performance. Ticker-specific analysis. INSC. Positive trade recommendation. Buy INSC. Score 2 symbols. INSC. News. Here's how much $100 invested in Texas Instruments 10 years ago would be worth today. Overall sentiment. Positive, score 5 out of 10. Short-term impact. Short-term market impact is minimal, but long-term investors may reassess their portfolios based on TXN's exceptional performance. Long-term impact. Long-term, TXN's outperformance may lead to increased investor interest and potential price appreciation. Ticker-specific analysis. TXN. Positive trade recommendation. By TXN, score 2 symbols. TXN. News. Airbnb stock falls as tariff fight clouds travel outlook. Overall sentiment. Negative. Score -8 out of 10. Short-term impact. Airbnb shares may continue to decline due to market volatility. Long-term impact. Tariff uncertainty and higher oil prices could impact Airbnb's growth potential. Ticker-specific analysis. ABND. Negative trade recommendation. Hold ABND. Score 0 symbols. ABND. News. Iranian regime on the brink. What it means for oil markets. Overall sentiment. Negative. Score -6 out of 10. Short-term impact. Oil prices may see increased volatility due to Iran's crisis and potential U.S. military intervention. Long-term impact. The crisis in Iran could have a lasting impact on global energy markets, potentially leading to changes in supply chains and pricing dynamics. Ticker-specific analysis. USO. Negative trade recommendation. Hold USO. Score -1 symbols. USO. News. DHT Holdings estimates Q4 time charter equivalent earnings for its fleet at $60,300 per day. Overall sentiment. Positive. Score 5 out of 10. Short-term impact. Positive sentiment may drive short-term market growth. Long-term impact. Long-term market impact uncertain, but positive outlook suggests potential future growth. Ticker-specific analysis. DHT. Positive trade recommendation. Hold DHT. Score 1 symbols. DHT. News. HB. Fuller sees FY 2026 a GPS $4.35 $4.70 vs $4.19 ESD. C sales $3.47. 4B $3.543 BVS $3.481 BESD. Net revenue for fiscal 2026 is expected to be flat to up 2% from $3.474 B in FY 2025. Overall sentiment. Positive. Score 8 out of 10. Short-term impact. Short-term market impact may be positive due to the exceeding of analyst expectations. Long-term impact. Long-term implications may include increased investor confidence and potential stock price growth. Ticker-specific analysis. Fall. Positive trade recommendation. Hold FUL. Score 0 symbols. Fall. News. Intelligent Protection Management obtains SOC2 Type 1 compliance. Overall sentiment. Positive. Score 8 out of 10. Short-term impact. The news is likely to have a positive impact on IPM's stock price due to increased investor confidence. Long-term impact. This achievement may position IPM as a more attractive partner for enterprises seeking robust protection against cyber threats, potentially leading to long-term growth opportunities. Ticker-specific analysis. IPM. Positive trade recommendation. Hold IPM. Score 0 symbols. IPM. Mission Produce signs agreement to acquire Calavo Growers at $27/share, comprising $14.85/share in cash, 0.9790 shares of each Mission stock. Overall sentiment positive, score 5 out of 10. Short-term impact, short-term market impact, positive sentiment due to the acquisition and premium price paid. Long-term impact, long-term market impact, potential for increased competition in the fresh produce industry, with potential benefits for Mission Produce and Calavo shareholders. Ticker-specific analysis. AVO, positive CVGW. Positive trade recommendation. Buy CVGW, score 2 symbols. AVO and CVGW. News. Intelligent Protection Management shares are trading higher after the company announced that it has successfully achieved SOC 2 Type 1 compliance. Overall sentiment positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact, short-term positive impact expected due to increased investor confidence. Long-term impact, long-term implications are uncertain, but this development may be a stepping stone for future growth and expansion. Ticker-specific analysis. IPM. Positive trade recommendation. By IPM, score 2 symbols. IPM. News. 1 Construction Group H1 APS $0.80, sales $27.762 M. Overall sentiment positive, score 5 out of 10. Short-term impact, short-term market impact, potential short-term price increase. Long-term impact, long-term market impact, may positively influence investor sentiment and long-term stock performance. Ticker-specific analysis. WONG, positive trade recommendation, hold WONG, score 1 symbols. WONG. News. Intelligent Protection Management shares are trading higher after the company achieved SOC 2 Type 1 compliance. Overall sentiment positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact, short-term market impact is expected to be positive, with IPM shares potentially increasing in value. Long-term impact, long-term market impact is uncertain, but achieving SOC 2 compliance may lead to increased investor confidence and potential long-term growth. Ticker-specific analysis. IPM. Positive trade recommendation. By IPM, score 2 symbols. IPM. News. Robotaxis are here and this new ETF is backing Tesla, Alphabet, and Baidu. Overall sentiment positive, score 6 out of 10. Short-term impact, robotaxi adoption increasing, with potential for significant growth in 2026. Long-term impact, estimated $7.3 billion robotaxi market in North America and $11.7 billion in China by 2030. Ticker-specific analysis. EVA. Positive Baidu. Positive Cabs. Neutral trade recommendation. By WRD. Score 2 symbols. EVA, Baidu, Cabs, Google, HSI, NVDA, Pony, Tesla, Uber, and WRD. News: Johnson & Johnson announced top-line results from investigational Phase 3 Majestic-9 study of Tecvayli monotherapy. Overall sentiment: positive, score 8 out of 10. Short-term impact: stock price may increase due to positive study results. Long-term impact: J&J may benefit from potential new standard of care status, leading to increased market share and revenue. Ticker-specific analysis: J&J, positive trade recommendation. By J&J, score 2 symbols. J&J. News: White House says in near future, Trump may impose broader tariffs on imports of semiconductors and their derivative products. The president also imposed a 25% tariff on certain advanced computing chips, such as the NVIDIA H200 and AMD MI325X. Overall sentiment: negative, score -5 out of 10. Short-term impact: tariffs may lead to short-term market volatility and losses for affected companies. Long-term impact: long-term implications are uncertain, but increased tariffs could lead to reduced global trade and economic growth concerns. Ticker-specific analysis: AMD, negative NVDA, negative SPY. Neutral trade recommendation: hold SPY, score 0 symbols. AMD, NVDA, and SPY. News: Hilton increases stock repurchase authorization by $3.5 billion, bringing total amount to $4.6 billion. Overall sentiment: positive, score 5 out of 10. Short-term impact: positive reaction expected in the short term due to increased confidence. Long-term impact: long-term implications are uncertain, but a positive outlook for Hilton's share price may persist. Ticker-specific analysis: HLT, positive trade recommendation. By HLT, score 2 symbols. HLT. News: Amplitude acquires Infinigrow to expand AI-driven marketing and revenue analytics. No financial terms disclosed. Overall sentiment: positive, score 7 out of 10. Short-term impact: Ample may experience short-term volatility due to the announcement. Long-term impact: the acquisition could have a positive long-term impact on Ample revenue growth and market share in AI-driven marketing analytics. Ticker-specific analysis: Ample, positive trade recommendation. By Ample, score 2 symbols. Ample. News: Pubo TV shares climb after hours. Here's why. Overall sentiment: positive, score 7 out of 10. Short-term impact: short-term, Pubo stock may continue to rise due to increased investor confidence. Long-term impact: long-term, the company's financial health and management decisions may have a significant impact on its stock price. Ticker-specific analysis: Pubo, positive trade recommendation. Hold Pubo, score 0 symbols. Pubo. News: Loop Industries Q3 EPS $0.06, in line, sales $0.00, miss $875.000 K. Estimate. Overall sentiment: neutral, score 0 out of 10. Short-term impact: expect a short-term decline in stock price. Long-term impact: future outlook uncertain due to declining sales. Ticker-specific analysis: Loop, neutral trade recommendation. Hold Loop, score 0 symbols. Loop. News. Next Trip shares are trading higher. The company reported Q3 financial results. Overall sentiment. Positive, score 5 out of 10. Short-term impact. Shares may continue to trade higher due to positive news. Long-term impact. No long-term impact assessment provided by this analysis. Ticker-specific analysis. NTRP. Positive trade recommendation. By NTRP. Score 2 symbols. NTRP. News. Palavo growers Q forage. EPS $0.25 misses $0.38 estimate. Sales $124.681 M miss $153.633 M estimate. Overall sentiment negative. Score -8 out of 10. Short-term impact. CVGW stock may experience short-term price volatility due to the earnings miss. Long-term impact. The long-term impact on CVGW market position will depend on the company's ability to recover from this disappointment and adapt to changing market conditions. Ticker-specific analysis. CVGW. Negative trade recommendation. Hold CVGW. Score 0 symbols. CVGW. News. Johnson & Johnson announces Tech Valley demonstrates 71% reduction in risk of disease progression or death in Phase 3 MAJES-TEC9 study, supporting potential new standard of care in relapsed multiple myeloma. Overall sentiment. Positive. Score 8 out of 10. Short-term impact. J&J stock may see short-term gains due to positive news. Long-term impact. Long-term market impact is uncertain, but the results may have a significant effect on J&J's standing as a leader in multiple myeloma therapies. Ticker-specific analysis. J&J. Positive trade recommendation. By J&J. Score 2 symbols. J&J. News. Bitwise launches Chainlink ETF as tokenization trade gains steam on Wall Street. Overall sentiment. Positive. Score 5 out of 10. Short-term impact. The launch may lead to increased trading activity and interest in Chainlink's Link token. Long-term impact. This development could contribute to the growth of the cryptocurrency market, particularly in the area of decentralized Oracle networks like Chainlink. Ticker-specific analysis. CLNK. Positive trade recommendation. Hold CLNK. Score 1 symbols. CLNK. News. Track signs a multi-year contract expansion with Air Atlanta Icelandic. Air Atlanta Icelandic to add Trax's mobility and cloud hosting solutions to further streamline maintenance, improve efficiency, and enhance compliance. Overall sentiment. Positive. Score 9 out of 10. Short-term impact expected to increase investor confidence in the airline industry. Long-term impact may lead to increased adoption of similar solutions by other airlines. Ticker-specific analysis. Air. Positive trade recommendation. By Air. Score 2 symbols. Air. News. Options Corner. American Airlines risks turbulence amid K-shaped economic recovery. Overall sentiment. Neutral. Score -2 out of 10. Short-term impact. AAL stock may experience a temporary pullback due to Delta's earnings reality check. Long-term impact. The airline sector's K-shaped recovery may lead to a correction in AAL stock prices, impacting investor sentiment and market performance. Ticker-specific analysis. AL. Neutral DAL. Neutral trade recommendation. Hold DAL, score 1 symbols. AL and DAL. News. Sentinel-1 expects to record additional $30M tax expense for fiscal year ending Jan 31, 2026 related to acquisition of Prompt Security. Overall sentiment, negative, score -3 out of 10. Short-term impact. Potential short-term negative impact due to increased tax expenses. Long-term impact. Long-term market impact is unclear, but may be influenced by companies' ability to manage tax expenses. Ticker-specific analysis. S. Neutral SNTL. Negative trade recommendation. Hold S. Score 0 symbols. S. News. Compass Diversified HLDGSQ3 Edge. EPS $0.70, sales $472.562M. Overall sentiment, neutral, score 0 out of 10. Short-term impact. The news may have a negative impact on Coty stock price in the short term. Long-term impact, however, without more information about future outlook or industry trends, it is difficult to predict long-term market implications. Ticker-specific analysis. Coty. Negative trade recommendation. Hold Coty, score -1 symbols. Coty. News: Why are Magnificent Seven losing their grip on the market in early 2026? Overall sentiment, negative, score -8 out of 10. Short-term impact. The Magnificent Seven are weighing on the broader market, with the S&P 500 barely positive so far in 2026. Long-term impact. A true turning point depends on Washington, with cyclical value stocks potentially gaining ground if fiscal policy adds fuel. Ticker-specific analysis. Apple. Negative Amazon. Negative Goob. Neutral trade recommendation. Hold VUG. Score -1 symbols. Apple. Amazon. Goob. Google. Megs. Meta. MSFT. NVDA. RSB. Tesla. VTV and VUG. News. U.S. Approving GPU exports to Armenia signals a new era of AI diplomacy. Overall sentiment, positive, score 8 out of 10. Short-term impact. Positive short-term market impact due to increased demand for AI infrastructure and NVIDIA GPUs. Long-term impact. Potential long-term market growth as Armenia becomes a hub for AI development and exports. Ticker-specific analysis. Dell. Positive NVDA. Positive trade recommendation. Buy NVDA, score 3 symbols, Dell, and NVDA. News. U.S. Approving GPU exports to Armenia signals a new era of AI diplomacy. Overall sentiment, positive, score 8 out of 10. Short-term impact. The approval may have a short-term positive impact on NVIDIA stock price and potentially on the U.S. semiconductor industry. Long-term impact. This development could lead to long-term benefits for Armenia, including economic growth and increased cooperation with the U.S. in AI technology. Ticker-specific analysis. Dell. Positive NVDA. Positive trade recommendation. Buy NVDA. Score 3 symbols. Dell. And NVDA. News. Next trip Q3 EPS $0.37 misses $0.16 estimate, sales $1.200 M miss $4.009 M estimate. Overall sentiment, negative, score -5 out of 10. Short-term impact, potential short-term market impact, sell-off, stock price drop. Long-term impact uncertain, requires further analysis of company's future plans. Ticker-specific analysis, NTRP. Negative trade recommendation. Sell NTRP. Score -2 symbols. NTRP. News. Demystifying invitation homes. Insights from 13 analyst reviews. Overall sentiment. Neutral, score 1 out of 10. Short-term impact. INV may experience short-term volatility due to analyst rating changes. Long-term impact. INV long-term prospects appear neutral, with some analysts maintaining positive ratings while others lower their expectations. Ticker-specific analysis. INV, neutral trade recommendation. Hold INV, score -1 symbols. INV. News, price over earnings overview. Pennant Park floating rate overall sentiment, neutral, score 0 out of 10. Short-term impact, stable with potential for minor fluctuations based on industry trends and business cycles. Long-term impact, neutral, as the article suggests using multiple financial metrics for informed investment decisions. Ticker-specific analysis. PFLT, neutral trade recommendation. Hold PFLT, score 0 symbols. PFLT. News. Assessing Nasdaq. Insights from 9 financial analysts. Overall sentiment. Positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact. NDAX stock may see a short-term increase due to analysts' positive ratings and increased price targets. Long-term impact. The long-term market impact is uncertain, but NDAX diversified technology focus and strong financial performance may lead to sustained growth. Ticker-specific analysis. NDAX. Positive trade recommendation. Hold NDAX, score 1 symbols. NDAX. News. CarParts.com files for offering of 32.46 M shares of common stock by selling stockholders. Overall sentiment. Positive. Score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact. The market may react positively short-term due to increased investor interest. Long-term impact. The long-term impact on the company's performance and valuation remains uncertain at this time. Ticker-specific analysis. PRTS. Positive trade recommendation. Hold PRTS, score 1 symbols. PRTS. News, a glimpse into the expert outlook on Lemonade through 6 analysts. Overall sentiment. Positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact, potential short-term increase due to analysts' positive outlook. Long-term impact, long-term potential for growth based on analysts' price target increases. Ticker-specific analysis. LMND, positive trade recommendation. Buy LMND, score 2 symbols. LMND. News, the analyst verdict. Adient in the eyes of 11 experts. Overall sentiment, neutral, score 0 out of 10. Short-term impact. The article suggests that Adient's short-term market impact may be minimal due to the mixed analyst opinions. Long-term impact. Long-term, the company's performance and growth prospects may have some bearing on its stock price, but a clear direction is not indicated. Ticker-specific analysis. And neutral trade recommendation. Hold ADNT, score 0 symbols. ADNT. News. Billionaire investor dumps Workday stake, and it's not the first time. Overall sentiment. Negative, score -8 out of 10. Short-term impact. Workday stock may experience short-term decline due to negative news. Long-term impact. Long-term impact uncertain, as quarterly beat and acquisition momentum are still positive factors. Ticker-specific analysis. Clue. Negative eagle. Neutral W-day. Negative trade recommendation. Hold W-day. Score 0 symbols. Clue. Eagle and W-day. News, Centessa Pharmaceuticals reveals poster presentation of new preclinical data supporting expansion of orexin receptor 2 agonist pipeline into neuropsychiatric indications at the 64th ACT annual meeting. Overall sentiment, positive, score 7 out of 10. Short-term impact, short-term market impact, stock price may rise due to positive news. Long-term impact, long-term market impact, potential expansion of pipeline into new indications with high unmet clinical need could lead to significant growth. Ticker-specific analysis, CNTA, positive trade recommendation. By CNTA, score 2 symbols, CNTA. News, Alamos Gold reports Q4 production of 141,500 ounces consistent with Q3. Production for the full year totaled 545,400 ounces. Overall sentiment, positive, score 6 out of 10. Short-term impact, positive impact due to record financial performance and increasing shareholder returns. Long-term impact, long-term positive impact expected from continued strong margin expansion and debt reduction. Ticker-specific analysis, AGI, positive trade recommendation. By AGI, score 2 symbols, AGI. News, NTRP stock has given up its prior gain. Next Trip shares were trading higher. The company reported Q3 financial results. Overall sentiment, neutral, score 0 out of 10. Short-term impact, potential short-term volatility due to the stock's recent loss. Long-term impact, unclear long-term impact without further information on NTRP performance. Ticker-specific analysis, NTRP, negative trade recommendation. Hold NTRP, score -1 symbols. NTRP. News: Teva Pharmaceuticals reveals New England Journal of Medicine has published pivotal Phase 3 data on Ajovy, highlighting its efficacy and safety in children and adolescents with episodic migraine. Overall sentiment: positive, score 8 out of 10. Short-term impact: expected increase in stock price due to FDA approval and positive clinical trial results. Long-term impact: potential long-term growth as Teva expands its market presence with Ajovy approved use in pediatric patients. Ticker-specific analysis: Teva, positive trade recommendation. By Teva, score 3 symbols. Teva. News: Wall Street vs. White House. CEOs warn Trump's 10% rate cap would freeze lending. Overall sentiment: negative, score -9 out of 10. Short-term impact: economic slowdown and reduced lending. Expected long-term impact: potential long-term effects on consumer access to credit and credit industry. Ticker-specific analysis: back, negative C, negative DAL, negative trade recommendation. Sell JPM, score -3 symbols. Back, C, DAL, and JPM. News. Home Bank shares Q forage. EPS $0.60. In line. Sales $280. 2.100 M beat $272.725 M estimate overall sentiment. Positive. Score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact. Positive short-term impact due to beat on sales. Long-term impact. Neutral long-term impact as APS is in line with estimates. Ticker specific analysis. HOM. Positive trade recommendation. Hold HOM. Score 1 symbols. HOM. News. Buy America Q2 APS $0.45 up from $0.48 YoY. Sales $1.210 M down from $1.636 M YoY. Overall sentiment negative, score -6 out of 10. Short-term impact, potential short-term price decline. Long-term impact uncertain without further information. Ticker-specific analysis, the MRA. Negative symbols, the MRA. News. Compose secure files for offering of up to 161.03 M class a common stock by selling stockholders. Overall sentiment. Neutral. Score 0 out of 10. Short-term impact. Minimal impact expected in the short term. Long-term impact. Long-term market impact uncertain without further information. Ticker-specific analysis. CMPO. Neutral trade recommendation. Hold CMPO. Score 0 symbols. CMPO. News. President Trump posts on Truth Social this morning. I had a very good call with the interim president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez. We are making tremendous progress as we help Venezuela stabilize and recover. Many topics were discussed, including oil, minerals, trade, and, of course, national security. This partnership between the United States of America and Venezuela will be a spectacular one for all. Overall sentiment. Positive. Score 8 out of 10. Short-term impact. Potential short-term gain in oil prices due to improved Venezuelan stability. Long-term impact. Long-term partnership between U.S. and Venezuela could lead to increased oil production and trade. Ticker-specific analysis. SPY. Neutral USO. Positive trade recommendation. Buy USO. Score 2 symbols. SPY and USO. News. SoFi stablecoin launch and what it means for financial institutions. Overall sentiment. Positive. Score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact. SoFi stablecoin launch may contribute to its stock performance and potentially change the financial landscape. Long-term impact. The article suggests that traditional financial institutions will increasingly issue their own stablecoins, potentially shifting the competitive dynamics in the market. Ticker-specific analysis. Back. Neutral C. Neutral coin. Neutral trade recommendation. Hold WFC. Score 0 symbols. Back. C. Coin. JPM. Pipple. Sophie. Salust. Ustcast. Ustvest. And WFC. News. Fresh $250M UST mint signals major liquidity shift for decentralized finance markets. Overall sentiment. Positive. Score 6 out of 10. Short-term impact. Increased liquidity and market activity are expected in decentralized finance markets. Long-term impact. The long-term impact of this event is not explicitly stated in the article, but it suggests that UST dominance in stablecoin markets may continue. Ticker-specific analysis. BK. Neutral BLK. Neutral Salust. Positive trade recommendation. Hold BLK, score 1 symbols. BK. BLK, Salust, Ustcust and Ustust. News. SoFi stablecoin launch and what it means for financial institutions' overall sentiment. Positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact. The launch of SoFi stablecoin is expected to contribute to a shift in the market towards regulated bank-issued stablecoins. Long-term impact. This development could potentially accelerate institutional adoption of blockchain settlement infrastructure and disrupt the traditional payment rails. Ticker-specific analysis. Back. Neutral C. Neutral coin. Neutral trade recommendation. Hold WFC. Score 0 symbols. Back. C. Coin. JPM. Pipple. Sophie. Salust. Ustcust. Ustfest. And WFC. News. Fresh $250M UST mint signals major liquidity shift for decentralized finance markets. Overall sentiment. Positive. Score 6 out of 10. Short-term impact. Increased trading activity and targeted capital allocation may follow. Long-term impact. The growing demand for dollar-backed liquidity and institutional interest in decentralized finance could lead to increased market depth and adoption. Ticker-specific analysis. BK. Neutral BLK. Neutral Salust. Neutral trade recommendation. Hold BLK. Score 1 symbols. BK. BLK. Salust. Ustcast and Ustest. News, SoFi stablecoin launch and what it means for financial institutions' overall sentiment. Positive, score 5 out of 10. Short-term impact. SoFi stablecoin launch may lead to short-term market volatility and potential competition from established players. Long-term impact. The long-term impact will depend on SoFi's ability to execute and scale its stablecoin infrastructure, potentially disrupting the traditional payment rails. Ticker-specific analysis. Back. Neutral C. Neutral coin. Positive trade recommendation. Hold WFC. Score 0 symbols. Back. C. Coin. JPM. Pipple. Sophie. Solust. Ustcast. Ustfest. And WFC. News, SoFi stablecoin launch and what it means for financial institutions' overall sentiment. Positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact. SoFi stablecoin launch is likely to have a positive impact on the company's stock price in the short term. Long-term impact. The long-term impact of SoFi stablecoin launch will depend on its execution and adoption by financial institutions. Ticker-specific analysis. Back. Neutral C. Neutral coin. Neutral trade recommendation. Hold WFC. Score 0 symbols. Back. C. Coin. JPM. Pipple. Sophie. Solust. Ustcast. Ustfest. And WFC. News, SoFi stablecoin launch and what it means for financial institutions' overall sentiment. Positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact. SoFi stablecoin launch may lead to short-term volatility in the stock prices of companies involved in the financial industry. Long-term impact. The launch of SoFi stablecoin has the potential to significantly impact the long-term development of the financial industry, with implications for traditional banks and fintech companies. Ticker-specific analysis. Back. Positive C. Positive coin. Neutral trade recommendation. Hold WFC. Score 1 symbols. Back. C. Coin. JPM. Pipple. Sophie. Solust. Ustcast. Ustest. and WFC. News: SoFi stablecoin launch and what it means for financial institutions' overall sentiment. Positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact: SoFi stablecoin launch may lead to short-term volatility in the stock market. Long-term impact: the adoption of blockchain settlement infrastructure by traditional financial institutions could have a significant long-term impact on the financial system and the economy. Ticker-specific analysis: BAC, neutral C, neutral coin, neutral trade recommendation. Hold WFC, score 0 symbols, BAC, C, coin, JPM, Pipple, Sophie, Salust, Ustvest, and WFC. News: SoFi stablecoin launch and what it means for financial institutions' overall sentiment. Positive, score 4 out of 10. Short-term impact: SoFi stablecoin launch is expected to contribute to its stock performance and potentially disrupt the traditional financial system. Long-term impact: the article suggests that the stablecoin wars are shifting towards a regulated bank model, with SoFi's move potentially accelerating the adoption of blockchain infrastructure in the financial sector. Ticker-specific analysis: BAC, neutral C, neutral coin, positive trade recommendation. Hold WFC, score 0 symbols, BAC, C, coin, JPM, Pipple, Sophie, Salust, Ustvest, and WFC. News: Chipotle boycotts. Social media tries to hurt Bill Ackman's finances after he donates to ICE agent. Overall sentiment: negative, score -4 out of 10. Short-term impact: potential short-term impact due to boycott calls, but Chipotle has clarified Ackman's affiliation. Long-term impact: long-term prospects for Chipotle appear positive with expected unit growth and average unit volumes returning to growth. Ticker-specific analysis: CMG. Neutral trade recommendation: hold CMG, score 0 symbols, CMG. News, Bank of America tops Q4 estimates as AI drives account growth, reduces hiring needs overall sentiment. Neutral, score 1 out of 10. Short-term impact, shares may experience volatility due to strong earnings release. Long-term impact, the company's AI-driven initiatives and cost savings may lead to long-term stock price appreciation. Ticker-specific analysis, back, neutral trade recommendation. Hold BAC, score 1 symbols, back.